This man's huge. Devon Achane has gained so much muscle and strength and probably will maintain all of his speed. I've moved him up on my running back rankings. I moved him to 5. He was at the 6-7 territory, kind of tied with Barkley, tied with JT, kind of in the mix, but he moved to a standalone number 5. We'll talk about that and more. We also have Jaylen Waddle, 5th-year option. Nick Chubb news. Marvin Harrison Jr. is the number 1 wide receiver in the rookie wide receiver class, according to CJ Stroud. A whole bunch more. The Fantasy Football Show begins right now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
Well, looky here. Here we are again. More breaking news. Seems like a theme. I think we're here Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern every single Monday through Friday. And let's start off with the fact that Devon Achane has added what looks to be about 10 to 15 pounds. The photo of him on the left is from last year. Skinny neck, skinny arms, looks like a twig, was fast as can be. Everybody said he wouldn't stay healthy. The photo on the right is the man right now. Looks like his bigger brother. It looks like a monster. He's got tree trunks on his body there, representing arms. This man at 190, 189, 190 last year probably weighs around 200 to 204 pounds if I had to guess. And he's climbed on my rankings immediately. He already was 7, 8, 9. I think higher than most people had him, 6, 7, 8, 9. But after this news, after knowing that this guy is going to be just as quick, I don't care about added weight. Certain players gaining weight's a bad thing, especially when you're like an older player. You've been carrying this kind of weight in the NFL for many years and you do some sort of change. The added weight can cause injury. You're carrying around more weight. When you're a young kid like Devon Achane and you're developing still, Achane's going to be fine. He's going to develop in a way, play at this weight, learn to play at this weight, learn to take hits at this weight. I'm not worried at all. This is all part of becoming a big boy in the NFL. This is all part of eating NFL food, NFL trainers, NFL workouts, and playing NFL football and taking your job seriously. And Achane, ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited to announce we have a new video / animation. This is probably my best work I've ever created. Miss Smitty said, "Are you working in there?" And I said, "You bet your bottom dollar I'm working right now." I spent 2 hours, probably 2.5 hours on this thing. This is my greatest creation. I give you Devon Achane.
Achane. Achane is the man. His haters call him small.
But he is 9 feet tall.
Achane is the man.
Lower him down, boys. I usually
Motion
say,
detected at the
be
front
careful.
door.
Everyone says he's fragile, but at this rate, I think you boys should be careful. This is a massive human being. Okay, whoa. Okay, stop right there. Put him right in my lineup. This is my number 5 overall running back. This is a top 5 running back.
Mashed potatoes!
On that note, what are we doing? What are we doing in here not wearing our Devon Achane shirt? Because this is what we're here for. Is it not? Is it not? He's Achane. He's headed to the moon. No. I'm sorry.
The Saturn Men.
One small step for man, one giant leap for Saturn.
Deckard says play it again. If I get a couple more of these, I'll play it immediately. But don't worry, we're going to play it a lot during this show, but I want to keep the show rolling. Something massive comes in, $20 haul comes in, I'll press it. Deckard, I will play it again for you, no doubt about it. These play it again messages are absolutely heard. I'm going to keep them right here. Let me just get through this news unless something massive comes in. We'll jump straight to it. Jaylen Waddle. Here's news real quickly on Jaylen Waddle. We'll go through this quickly. The Dolphins will pick up the fifth-year option on Jaylen Waddle. Waddle's option is $15.59 million, and Phillips's option is $13.25. Both are fully guaranteed for 2025. Look, I think I'm feeling the same way I feel about Waddle as I do Higgins. Very good wide receiver. Very good for this specific team, just as Higgins is for his specific team and for Joe Burrow specifically. They know the offense. They know, they're both injury prone. They're both not elite number one wide receivers for an NFL team, in my opinion. If either of them went to Buffalo, they'd be a top 12, top 15 wide receiver. You see how that works? It doesn't matter if you aren't really a number one wide receiver. You go to the right spot, you can be anything you want, young man. So Waddle or Higgins in Buffalo, boom. They're a top 12 to 15 wide receiver, whether we believe they are on paper or not. But if they don't get that kind of landing spot, there's no way Higgins is a top 12 wide receiver with all the amazing wide receivers in the NFL, especially with the 3 incoming wide receivers that'll probably consume the top 10. Don't worry, we're replaying that in a second. Waddle, same thing. I like Waddle, but there's zero chance he's a top 10 wide receiver. With Tyreek Hill on roster, him in this situation, crowded wide receiver room on top of Tua Tagovailoa not being that much of a guarantee long-term, what happens if he goes down? One hit, he's maybe done for his career. You could say, oh, he shook that free. I don't believe so. I think he got in a way, he was fortunate, right? I don't want to call it lucky. He was fortunate not to get hit last year in a way that created another concussion, but one more concussion, and bro, he's done. He could be done. So I don't like Waddle and Higgins now. I could, depending on their landing spot, if they were to get traded. Clearly, these teams feel a little bit the same way I do because Higgins is not getting an elite, big top 8 wide receiver salary contract. Waddle, they're obviously far apart on getting Waddle what he needs. And the team said, look, we'll run the risk of you creating drama, and no one's going to really come swinging in with a huge, big offer anyway. If they do, we'll listen to it. But this is a business move for us. You guys don't have leverage like Ayuk's got more leverage to say, trade me, and teams will come a-knocking. Not after the draft. That's why this week is a critical week, and then the beginning part of next week is critical for an Ayuk trade request, or whoever wants to request a trade or pressure more. If Higgins wants to apply more pressure to his earlier trade request, then those things will happen. So Waddle, not sure what to expect in terms of like a contract or what they plan for. I think they'll let the year play out. Marvin Harrison Jr., CJ Stroud saying Marvin Harrison Jr. Should be the first receiver taken in this year's draft. Why should it be Marv? Put on the tape. He's done it from really his freshman year to now. And I think that, look, I've said this before. It's landing spot. I love Marvin Harrison Jr. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is probably the number one wide receiver in this class on paper. I think if I'm drafting as the Cardinals, I don't hesitate. I love Rome Odunze. I love Neighbors. I love them. I love all three. They're all three going to be potentially top 10 wide receivers in the NFL within one calendar year, and one or two of them will be as rookies too. That is a lot. That is 30% of the top 10 consumed by these three guys. That's how much I love them. So nobody come in here and say you're sleeping on Neighbors, or you're crazy if you don't like Neighbors over Odunze, if all things are equal, or you're crazy for even suggesting Odunze could be better than Marvin Harrison Jr. with a better landing spot. I believe that all three of them have the ability to be the number one wide receiver in this draft class if handed a Buffalo Bill landing spot. Okay, let's be very clear. Or an Arizona Cardinal landing spot. If I'm the Cardinals, I take Marvin Harrison Jr. I don't hesitate. I press the button. He's fantastic. He's a combination of Larry Fitzgerald meets A.J. Green. He's different than Rome Odunze. Odunze could be Jamar Chase. Neighbors could be a combination of Jamar Chase and a couple other wide receivers. They're all very, very good in their own different way. And some of them have better skill sets than others. You know, like, it's like, I think Chase is... Or Chase. I'm already calling Rome Odunze Chase. Rome Odunze is the most well-rounded of the three. I'll tell you that right now. Not that Neighbors can't become that, but Rome was all over the field. He runs the entire route tree, proven on film, whereas Neighbors probably could, but he didn't need to. So how do you judge him for that? You don't, right? And Harrison doesn't have some of those different skill sets that Neighbors and Odunze both share, but he's like this field-stretching Larry Fitzgerald that could be a Hall of Fame wide receiver and the number one overall receiver in the National Football League, and develop the things that we're talking about that he might not quite have in the bag like Neighbors and Odunze do. He could develop those too. Marvin is so good, he didn't need to do anything in the offseason, and he's still going as the number one wide receiver. That's how good he is. So Stroud's not wrong. I would take him number one overall as well. But I just want to go on record again and again and again and again that Odunze in Arizona, let's say Arizona traded down and let a team move up and they landed Odunze later, that's a marriage made in heaven. And I'd be excited. I'd be a little bummed initially not having Marvin, but as soon as we got Odunze, I would probably be right on cloud nine again and excited about it. This guy right here, don't expect much. I told you last year not to expect much from him. Deshaun Watson is throwing full speed. Well, you know what? They also brought in 87 quarterbacks to help maybe weather the storm that might be approaching. I had people coming for my neck all offseason last year saying, Smitty, you're going to be wrong about him. You'll see. Watson's going to totally become a better player than he was the previous year. He was getting into his own, kind of coming back, climbing back. We've seen it time and time again, and this is kind of a cautionary tale for Ridley. Even though I'm excited about Ridley, it feels a little bit still like fool's gold till it happens, right? When a player's out of the NFL for a significant amount of time, we're talking more than a half a year, or really even a year, like a full year, like Ridley or like Deshaun Watson or other players that have Josh Gordon, the odds are extremely against them coming back to form. And Deshaun Watson, so far removed from what he was the next CJ Stroud, if you want to like compare him to a breakout top 5 quarterback, and he was. If anybody doesn't want to come in and give CJ Stroud his flowers and call him a top 5 quarterback, they're crazy. And if anybody doesn't want to come in and give Watson pre all the drama when he was coming up in the NFL top 5 value, you're also crazy. But he's not that player anymore, and I wouldn't go near him in fantasy. There's no need to go near him in fantasy at all. Why would you go near him? Why would you go near him at all? It makes no sense to even attempt to draft him when the quarterback pool is, you're struggling to put Kirk Cousins in the top 12. That's how good the quarterback pool is there this year. You have no business going near Bryce Young or Watson. They're just not guys you want to start. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones confirms that the team is all in on the season, but they need to hold money for re-signing their star players in the offseason. If all goes well, we spend max money year in and year out. All 32 teams can spend the same amount of money. And then what happens, though? What happens to this situation? The Dallas Cowboys, coming off of that news, sign a running back. Yeah, they finally solved the running back needs. Before I show it, maybe you've seen it. I'm gonna minimize it. Jerry Jones, we're focused on this year, not next year. Let's bring in somebody, right? Okay, good. What did you do, Jerry? What did you do? How did you solve this year's running back problem? And maybe they do draft a rookie. Royce Freeman, 1-year deal, according to a source. Freeman had 319 yards on 77 carries and 2 touchdowns last year with the Rams. He was a third-round pick by Denver in 2018. You bring in Royce Freeman. Jerry, if you were worried about this year, you would have went and got a this year running back in what was coined as, and arguably so, the best running back free agent pool probably in the last decade or more, some say ever. You had Derrick Henry, you had Saquon Barkley, you had Josh Jacobs, who's going to absolutely crush it in Green Bay. Green Bay did a great job. Very smart, Green Bay. Saquon Barkley is going to become a top 5, 6 running back in Philly. Smart work, Philly. Baltimore couldn't get it done with just Lamar. They went out and got a guy that, even if he scores or rushes for 900, 1,100 yards max, because he's not what he was, he's scoring double-digit touchdown performances at least 3 or 4 times this year, probably at least 1 3 TD game, and now you have help. Now Lamar doesn't have to carry the team through consecutive playoff rounds by himself. That's the problem. Look at the reasoning here as to why a team falters. Dallas, Dak can't do it every single round by himself. Buffalo, they can't put it all on Josh Allen. He's going to falter. Lamar, same thing. Okay? And KC, you could say, Mahomes, but look, you have Pacheco, you got Kelsey still, and Rashee Rice was playing at an elite level at that moment. This is a team sport as far as I'm concerned still, and there's no way that Lamar was doing it by himself. Not consecutive games. Yeah, he could have done it round 1, round 2. Same thing with Dak. Dak needed a running back. Here you are, Jerry, bringing in a solution of a guy that, frankly, to be honest with you, I'm embarrassed. I forgot Royce Freeman was even in the league. I didn't know that he wasn't, but he is now. I forgot he was even an option in the league. In fact, I don't even know did I have him on my running? Maybe I did. Did I have him on my running back free agent board? No, I didn't. I didn't. I forgot. I forgot he was even still playing football. I thought maybe he hung up the cleats. I had no clue. I feel embarrassed. That I didn't really even realize he was still an option. Good job, Jerry. Way to find a diamond in the rough. Nick Chubb, I've told you all before, your boy knows injuries, okay? You got a lot of doctors that are trying to play fantasy football right now, and maybe I am trying to play doctor to some degree, and I've heard some people say that that's been said about me. Oh, Smitty thinks he's a doctor. Well, I've been doing the medical stuff before any doctors got into the fantasy game, so thank you very much. I've been doing it pretty fine by myself. And if there's something I know well, it is injury related to fantasy football. And if I don't know the injury, I'll learn about it. If someone got some sort of, I don't know, ear-related fantasy football injury I didn't know about, I'd learn about it, figure it out. We come in and talk about it. I know all the injuries that are going to trigger certain reactions in fantasy worlds, how much time somebody needs, Achilles, patellar tendons. I've suffered many of them in my knee myself. I've pretty much done every single knee injury I talk about except for the PCL. Nick Chubb has demolished his knee. And while there are people that want to believe that he can come back because he did from his previous knee injury, and when I tell you his previous knee injury, people, I don't think anybody realizes what he had done. This is your knee. It bends this way. This is your kneecap. This is your patellar tendon. This is your knee. Nick Chubb in college bent it so far forward, I can't even bend my model. He had a right angle of his knee forward, ripped everything to shreds. I believe even his ACL, there was a report that, and this is before social media back when he tore it in college, that he tore everything but his ACL. But social media wasn't big. No one was digging into anything. Everybody said it. He's got a knee. He's got a knee. Everyone generalized knee injuries. He's got a knee. He'll be out 4 weeks. He's got a knee. And every knee injury is so different. He tore everything in my book. Maybe the ACL was intact, but I guarantee you it was not undamaged, because if you look at this ACL and PCL in the middle of the knee, any sort of movement and you're stretching the hell out of those things. There's no way you can see it right there. There's the PCL and ACL. You can see how stretched they get in this model. You go this way, stretch. You go this way, stretch. This way's okay. They bend in there. This way's fine. The knee is designed to go this way, not this way. He did this in college, ripped everything, but he was young. He recovered. Amazing on him. Let's give him flowers. I don't want people to think I'm a Nick Chubb hater at all. The guy's given fantasy football glory for how many years? We owe him a standing ovation. Can't thank you enough, Nick Chubb, for all you've done. I want you to know that. You're an absolute gem. But at his current age, Ziggy, how old is Nick Chubb?
Nick Chubb is 28 years old and was born on December 27, 1999.
Ziggy off. He's entering the dreaded final year where you hold your breath, plug your nose, and you hope that the running back, because you have no guarantee, probably a 30% chance the running back at 28 can have an elite season. 28 is your hold your breath, final, throw mud at the wall, throw a dart at the dartboard with your eyes closed to try and hit the target, and you hope that you get it. McCaffrey's 28. You got to hope. I know he's a little bit more special than the average bear. That's why we say the common phrase on this channel that it's as risky to doubt Christian McCaffrey this year as it is to believe in him. And that is to say that you need to draft him in a couple leagues. Do not put all your eggs in one basket. Do not think he's Superman. Do not think he can just shake off the 28-year-old curse and dreaded 28-year-old season. He could very well have that one more year. That's why he's as risky to doubt as to believe in. But he is absolutely at the tipping point where he's now as risky to believe in as to doubt. Nick Chubb, 5% chance this works out. Is there a world where he's a marvel? He's an absolute stem cell, petri dish, rebuilt knee on new technology that hits 2024/2025 and becomes a new thing? I don't know, but it's a 5% chance. Why? Because last year his knee did the same thing as I told you, right angle. This time it went this way, right angle, completely L-shaped. And he's 28 years old. He has no ability to come in and do what he did. Young kid, body regenerates quickly, heals faster. He's not going to be able to do that. The arthritis in his knee is going to hit like Todd Gurley's did. Boom, out of nowhere. Boom, out of nowhere. He's good, he's good, he's good. He's not. And there's just no feasible way he comes back and contributes. And the team even reconstructed his contract and said, look, we'll let you have the money you were going to have if you hit incentives, but we want to keep you on the team. We don't want to do you dirty and cut you, but we don't know when you're going to be ready. And everybody should have seen that as a sign, like I said, the moment they reconstructed his contract, that they don't believe he's going to be ready. Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski said there's no timetable yet for Nick Chubb's return of his knee injury. It was in week 2, of course, but this is a brutal injury that it could be very, very much... It says right here, Stefanski said, I don't know that we'll go past today and this week. At least that's the way I'm looking at it. This is something that I don't think, when he's ready, he'll be ready. I don't think he'll be close to being ready in week 1. At least not for full workload or anything like that. And even if he was, what kind of player will he be? What kind of swelling is he going to have? What kind of trust is he going to have in the knee? When your knee goes sideways or forward, that is like an unusual, never happens type of injury. Ever happens injury. It happened to him twice. And I'm not saying that he's the kind of person that is prone to this or whatever, but why is he having these 2 injuries when he's the only one that's had them? Like, we haven't seen this injury really ever. His injury was coined as the worst knee injury in college football history, and really football history. He had the same knee, not even the same direction, or it's a different knee, but a same knee injury, not even the same direction, the complete other right angle going the sideway. My point is this: don't go near him. If you see him in the 9th or 10th round and you want to take a stab in one best ball draft promo code Smitty, Underdog Fantasy. Hit this link. We're drafting late at night. Pretty much when the NFL draft is over going forward. If not every night, almost every night. So hit that link right now. I'll pin it in the live chat. And that link will get you up to $100 bonus match on your first deposit, dollar for dollar, and it'll allow you to draft with me. Unless it's the 9th or 10th round, which he could be falling there, take one stab, and that's it, and then move on. Don't be putting multiple... Get Tajay Spears over him. Get somebody like Blake Corum even, who I think needs the right landing spot to be great, but I'd take a stab on Blake Corum, who I doubt a little more than most people without the great landing spot. I'd take that over Nick Chubb all day long. I'd take Braylon Allen. I'd take Bucky Irving. I'd take Jalen Wright. I'd take every single one of the rookie running backs over Nick Chubb. Zamir White's floating around a little bit above probably, but right around that territory. The rookie wide receivers, Ricky Parasol. I'd take Frank Gore Jr., who may not even get drafted, or he gets drafted to a crowded spot over Nick Chubb, just because you got so much more upside. Nick Chubb ain't going to help nobody. It's not his fault. Again, standing ovation for being such a monster for so many years. And now out of respect for Deckard, who dropped two $2 haulers in a row saying, play it again, Smitty. His favorite music video of all time was created by Smitty last night when Miss Smitty, Smitty made it, when Miss Smitty said, hey, are you coming to eat dinner? Where are you? Are you working? Are you working hard at least? And I said, I'm working as hard as I can. This is my best work I've ever created in the history of this show. This is what my job's so ridiculous. This is what I spent 2.5 hours on last night, and I couldn't have invested better quality time into this channel than this right here. This is what it's all about.
Achane is the man. His haters call him small.
But he is 9 feet tall.
Achane is the man.
Now, this kind of stuff, this kind of glory, will trigger a lot of negative comments every time we play it. It's just kind of the natural reaction. Like, so here we go. We got a couple. Let's address each one individually. Frank. We got one from let's see here. I saw a couple of them come in here. Achane missed the train. I don't know if that is a hater. It seems like it. That seems like a hating comment. Smitty to the moon. Appreciate you. Where was this other one? So Frank's comment there. Where was that other one? There's another one in here somewhere. Achane number one. Achane missed the train. Achane, I'll pass. Gregory, we got another one. Okay, so here's what we'll start with. Gregory. Achane, I'll pass. The only thing I can say to Gregory is, Gregory, I'm here for you. You're contributing so much to the Achane movement. You have no idea. The negativity you bring to the table is helpful. I don't want you to stop. Continue to speak this. Actually, cut and paste it. Hey, moderators, if he cuts and pastes Achane, I'll pass a couple times. Don't say, hey, slow down, stop spamming the chat. People might think these are different people. It'll help lower his value. Gregory, we appreciate your hard work. We need Gregory's involved in this process. Frank says he's barely 5 feet tall. I draft him in the 5th round happily. Okay. We know where you stand. 5th round, huh? Keep watching. absorb some things, Frank. We appreciate you being here. Jumping, John Achane missed the train. It always triggers. You know what it is? And then Nico, did I already put Nico's up here? I saw one by Nico. Nico said, "Oh, this is the best one. This is probably planet Uranus worthy."
And off he goes to the planet known as Uranus.
Nico's is the best. Achane looks the same. Stop hyping this BS up. Okay, let's see if Frank's got a point. Okay, Frank, Frank, I don't know if I can concur on that one. I'm going to say guy on the left looks like he was eaten by the guy on the right. So, I'm going to say you take an L on that one.
You've just been Smitty disapproved.
Big fat L on that one. Nico, the answer is no. Stop hyping this up. No, Nico. We're going to continue to do it, and I'm going to do it over and over and over and over. And the more you tell me to stop, the more I'm going to press the buttons, Nico, because this is my show. And if I want to put HN in my lineup 7 times a show, play the new music video 3-4 times a show, depending on if anybody super chats, I want this played, and it's a $20 hauler or more, they get it played every time. There's just no doubt about it. And so, Nico, you say don't stop with it. Stop with the BS. Watch what the people want. In fact, I'm running a special right now. $14.99 instead of $19.99. You can request the HN video to be played for the remainder of the show. We're running a discounted special because of Nico, because of Frank, and everybody that's hating on this man. Special, $14.99. Can't beat these prices. Bring it on. Phone lines are open. Thank you, Deckard, for starting the trend of this, and we'll see you all on the phone line right here on the Grindhouse phone line. Dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Can you imagine thinking that he didn't change in size? He looks the same. I mean, if anything, we need to start a GoFundMe for Nico getting some glasses. Nico, if you need that, really, I'm here for you, bro. I appreciate you. He looks the same. One of these things is not like the other. One of these things is not the same. Poor Nico. Let's take some phone calls. I think it was somebody. I think Frank said he'll be here with the receipts. Okay. Well, we'll be waiting for you just like everybody else. Just like everybody else is on the planet Uranus that never returned. What's up, Rob?
What's up, Smitty? Yo, how can you say that guy looks the same, man?
I don't know.
That's about. It look. I'm a low ball to say 10 pounds of muscle, but man, that's at least like 15 pounds of muscle.
Yeah, I mean, for people that don't, I mean, what it is, again, I've already broken this down from a psychological perspective. Your boy went to school for a reason, okay? I got a psych degree. I only use it on this channel. I don't know why I got it, and then one day it popped up. I said, boom, I'm going to be a fantasy football analyst. And I'm gonna give free psych evals to my callers. That's probably what happened. No, I got my degree well before I started. Okay, so Devon Achane, people that can't accept it. Like, it's not like somebody goes, yeah, I like him. I'll probably take him in a league, or I'll rotate him with someone else. But the people that are adamantly in here, like, writing negative things, they 99.99999% just are bitter that they missed the boat, and they want to be right retroactively. That's all it is. It's
from somebody that had no HN shares. I sold my only HN share, and I wasn't high on them coming out. I thought he was a good running back, but I thought he was too small, like everybody else did.
Yeah.
So I didn't really get too many shares of him. But bro, you can't deny the work he put in to gain that much muscle, and then what he did last year in the couple of games he played, bro. You can't be in the tape lock. You're never gonna win like that.
Yeah. But it really is just about that. It's about trying to be retroactively right to make yourself feel better about it. It's just like Kyren. People that hate Kyren also hate Achane. It's like identical types of people. You can profile it. It's like a Kyren hater is an Achane hater. And the reason that is because they didn't see him coming, and they probably hate Puka too. You either adjust and adapt in this business from a business perspective, a content creation perspective, or a player perspective. If you don't know how to bury your old emotions, move on, adjust and adapt, recognize when you miss something and just jump on the train late, as bad as it feels to you to not have seen it coming, you feel like a total fool, an imbecile. You're like, oh my God, Kyren. And then he's great, and you're like, oh my God, am I bad? Am I just bad at this? Or can I double down, hope he's bad, and if he's bad, I can go, ha ha, see, I wasn't wrong a year ago and I looked like a fool. That's all it is. Achane haters are Kyren haters. And you could go on the flip side of this and say that people love the underdog a lot too in the same capacity. Like people that want to believe in Nick Chubb coming back wanted to believe that Cam Akers was going to be great. It's a profile. You can profile a fantasy football player very easily. And I have this on my The Fantasy Football Show. I have a course coming on how to profile your trade opponent to know their tendencies, because, and this will be in the video course section on thefantasyfootballshow.com, because you can absolutely use this information to your advantage in a trade discussion. And the fantasyfootballshow.com video course section is going to have so much trade evaluation, video, step-by-step how-to videos. There's already a bunch on there, but I have a bunch that I've created. I just need to upload them all. But it's a video course library that will eventually have between 50 and 100 videos on, and they're all exclusive to the fantasyfootballshow.com members. But how to trade with a certain person. And these people have different tendencies than other people. People that hate Achane hate Kyren. People that hate Joe Burrow hate other things that are very, very similar. It's a natural pattern in a person's behavior. And the best fantasy football player, the people that can win the most leagues and adapt the most to any league format, are the ones that can't be predicted, or they're not predictable because they don't allow themselves to get put in these repetitious boxes over and over and over. They allow themselves the error. They allow themselves to be wrong on something and jump on and not judge inwardly their miss of whatever. It allows somebody to say, I don't think Nick Chubb's going to be good this year. And let's say Nick Chubb starts looking great. It allows me to go, you know what? I was wrong. Nick Chubb looked, I'm not gonna, but I'm saying that is what you need to be able to do. You don't just dig the hole deeper and continue to go down the bad rabbit hole, throw more good money after bad. It's that simple. We got Coble with another super chat. It says, what's up, Smitty and chat? Adjust and adapt. That's right, Coble. Adjust and adapt. Stop, drop, and roll, Coble. That's what I kind of attribute adjusting and adapting to. Stop, drop, and roll. If you're in a draft, stop, drop, roll, pick, get up, and change directions. What else you got, Rob?
Oh man, I was just telling people, man, you can't be stuck in the take lock. I won 13 leagues last year, dynasty leagues. And if I would just stayed and take lock on players I thought was gonna be good and didn't switch up once I seen it was changing values or playing differently, I would never win.
Yeah.
I almost had a 50% win rate because I'm in 40 leagues.
Yeah, I think it was Frank. Frank, Frank, you bring a negative mentality to it, just the way you approach it. But Frank, for example, is like, oh, just like you're right on Kadarius Toney. It's like, bro, do you think I'm gonna get everything right? Do you think that somebody is humanly possible? It's possible to get everything right, Frank, because you can't. Okay, I'm not gonna get every single Kadarius Toney call. I'm not gonna get the Jahmyr Gibbs call right in week 1 or week 2. Sometimes, Frank, I'm a human being, and I have emotions as well. And if my mama's not here and I can't climb in her lap, at least allow me to pout in my chair. Okay, Frank? All right, hey,
Kadarius Toney is not done, man. He had a bad year. You got to remember, he started off hurt, and he didn't really get to play in training camp, and then they threw him in the lineup while he was hurt. He had a couple of bad plays, and everybody just turned against him, but he still helped them win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And he still got talent.
Adjust and adapt, people.
Rasheed Rice was doing what he did. That opened the door right back up.
Yeah, adjust and adapt, people. Adjust and adapt. You're a glass half empty guy, says Frank. That's fine. That's fine. But Frank, like, I'm just curious, genuinely curious, why you don't believe Achane will be good. Like, what is the rationale? Come in with some actual like argument. And the phone line's open, Frank, if you want to dial in and have this discussion. I would love to know what your thinking is about it. I'd love to know why you believe that Achane can't do good when he's gained size. That was a big knock, that he was too small. Now he weighs what Priest Holmes weighs. He weighs what Kyron Williams weighs. You know, this is a big guy now. This is a 5'9", 200 and I don't know, Rob, 200 and I'm trying not to be like I'm not trying not to over guesstimate here, but if he's let's say 89, let's not even put him at 190. Let's put him at 189 on the left, which is what he weighed in, what he was showing after the combine and all that. 189. This on the right, that's at least 15 pounds. There's no way that's just 5 or 10 pounds. Like, his neck is swole, his head looks bigger. He's got actual like extra tissue on his face and cheeks and neck and head. Like, this is a man that weighs at least 15 pounds more. So if that's the case, he's 204, 205 minimum.
At least the same amount as Kenneth Walker. He got to be the same, at least the same as Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, so
on the right.
You got size, okay? You also have a 7.8 yard per carry running back that you know, depending on where you cherry pick the cutoff on how many carries you need to be looked at to be the NFL leading historical running back yard per carry leader. But you could find those in very, very significant places that he's the number one running back in National Football League, NFL history for yards per carry. Now, will he maintain that as he gets into those different brackets of with X number of carries, who's the league leading historical yard per carry running back? We'll find out. But there's nothing here that should alarm you other than, oh, you think he might get hurt. And that's really your only argument. And he just probably neutralized it by gaining this weight. In 2023, he was running back 24, which I think a hater might say, well, that's low. But to have 11 touchdowns in that type of season should trigger something like, hey, once he's used fully, once they start putting him in there, and they did at the end of the year, even when Mostert was on the field again, they were leaning and trusting Achane a lot. They didn't bring in a veteran running back like a lot of people that hated Achane, try to predict. They're going to bring in somebody. They want to bring in another running back. Everybody was making up stuff left and right. Achane didn't face any of that. There's nobody brought in. It's Mostert, who's you know, on the verge of falling off. Had a great year last year, but had no track record. For anybody that says, oh, Smitty, he was 31. How did he do well? Because he didn't have a track record of mileage like Eckler or any workhorse running back that has been doing it for consecutive 4, 5, 6 years. Those are the running backs that fall victim to the 28-year-old situation. And even if you go outside of that for outliers like Mostert or McKinnon, those are not something that are very predictable things anyway. And when they happen, you can't use the data and go backwards and start finding people that are 30, 31 years old and have it work. It doesn't work like that. These are outliers that have no ability to be tied to anything. And Mostert has a very, very strong likelihood of failing this year if he's given even remotely close to the same volume, because his body just endured holy hell at 31 years of age. And he's not even, the human body isn't built for it at even 30, at even 29 anymore. So the odds of Achane getting numerous starts this year, half of a season maybe, as the full-time guy, they go up astronomically this year versus last year. So if this guy can score 11 touchdowns on limited usage and spotty usage and missing a lot of games because of the knee, which had nothing to do with how small he was, it was a knee injury. And even when he came back, a player did a suplex right on his knee and re-injured it right away. And everybody goes, look, he's too small. That knee injury would have happened in both those cases, the original knee injury and the re-injury, to anybody. It had nothing to do with his size. So you think what you want. The phone line is open, Frank, if you want to call in and argue. I'm waiting for the argument. There's no argument against Achane other than you just want to hate him because you didn't own him. There's no other argument. I'm not saying he has to be ranked as high as I have him. I'm not saying you have to love him and draft him in every league. But tell me the negatives. Somebody call in and tell me the negatives.
He didn't get drafted in the second round. That's the only thing. Because if he had got drafted in the second round, first or second round, well, obviously not the first. That will never know happen. Then the energy around him would be completely different. But he still was one of the best backs coming out. It was just his size was always a concern. He played in the SEC, but he still had one of the best. He had one of the best break tackle rates and yards after contact. Even though he only weighed one in college, he was even lighter. He weighed like 170 because he was a sprinter for Texas A&M. It was playing like at 175, and he still had one of the best break tackle rates.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun season for Achane owners. I mean, and here's again for anybody that doesn't know, I moved him to my number 5. He was floating around 6'7" in a tie with either JT or a tie with Barkley, but just this added size makes me feel like there's no concerns for me anymore. There's none, and there wasn't really like. Was I a little bit worried that he could hold up as a between the tackle running back on an every down basis for years? Yeah, I mean, I made it very abundantly clear that he was probably better fit for a change of pace role that would always be feeding him tons and tons of work to the tune of what Eckler did when Melvin Gordon was in San Diego back when they were the San Diego Chargers. And you had Melvin Gordon between the tackles just beasting out, and you had Austin Eckler as that like change of pace role, but he was still a top 5 to 10 running back every year that he was in it. So there is a actual world where Achane would have continued to deliver top 6 to 12 running back numbers every single year in that role if he was going to be 189 pounds. The fact that he's 204, I mean, I don't see how he's under 204 pounds. I don't think he can be. That image at 5'9", that kind of thickness, that kind of muscle, and people saying he looked like he's been at the buffet. Like, do you have eyeballs? Do you have eyeballs, or are you just here to troll and hate? This guy looks so massive. It's not fat. It's not fat at all. Like, I don't know why I even have to explain that. But there's no way he's under 204 pounds. I have zero concerns now. I have zero concerns. He's arguably the quickest running back in the National Football League. He's arguably going to be the number 1 running back in NFL history in yards per carry by the time his career is done. And he's in an electric, potent offense that's going to utilize his skill sets to maximum advantage. And he's in an offense that now has a shorter field that doesn't get kind of game scripted out of using him if you get pinned down inside the 20s. That's a big change in the NFL for playmakers. Playmakers are not going to be phased out of certain drives. Like, and on top of that, he's got Tyreek Hill and Jaylen Waddle stretching the field. There's no way a defense can even focus on him. There's no way to enter a game and go, yep, we're going to shut down Devon Achane and make this team beat us with Tyreek Hill and Jaylen Waddle. There's no way. So every single game, the game plan is going to be to ignore Devon Achane. Every single game. Plain and simple. They can't go out. They can't go toward this situation. and say, oh, we're going to shut him down. They can't game plan against him. This is the most, even though they've lost a lot in Miami, I'm not saying Miami didn't lose a lot of pieces this offseason, and they're kind of like in dangerous territory. If they don't go get a rookie QB, if they don't at least draft Milton or Rattler later or something and put themselves in a pretty crafty, advantageous backup QB role situation, I think there could be a day where this thing could fall apart mid-season, and then we're like, damn it, what happens to Achane? Does he get a little bit more crowded, or do they make a trade? Or Miami Mike's pretty crafty, but I think he's got this blind love for Tua that I don't understand. But anyway, Achane, to me, regardless of whether this team can win a Super Bowl or even a round in the playoffs, this is still a very electric, potent offense that it doesn't really matter for fantasy football purposes. Did they get better in the offseason? Probably not overall, but the offseason is still going. We're in April. The NFL draft is approaching. So we can't judge them fully yet. Just like the Buffalo Bills. People judge the Buffalo Bills and say, hey, who's Josh Allen going to throw to? What are you talking about? We're in April. What do you mean, who's he going to throw to? They're entering an NFL draft here in days. You think he's going to have... It's like people don't use their brain, bro. Dial in. You got anything else, Rob? Before I circle you off the phone line, pal?
Oh, no, I'm good, bro. I'm going to be listening in.
All right, if you got something else, call in. Appreciate you. Later.
Yep.
I mean, it's funny. Look, you can have different opinions. There's a difference in opinion that comes across different, and then there's people that come in and hate on it, especially when we do an Achane video. For some reason, a Kyren video, a little less now, because I think people, they don't want to put receipts out there that they doubt Kyren. Because at this point, they feel pretty stupid. They doubted him all year. They said he was going to be garbage. They said he was going to get replaced in the offseason by Barkley, Henry, or Jacobs. They say McVay's going to forget about him, or McVay's going to break him. And at this point, I think Kyren doubters have just kind of gone dormant and quiet. But there's still a couple. For some reason, Devon Achane owners, they can't do that. They can't do that. And when I create a Devon Achane video, it never fails. It's not just different opinion. It's a hatred toward him. It's a trolling type behavior that comes out of the woodwork. And it's fine. It's fine. We need that kind of behavior. We need people that doubt this kid. We need people that think he's not going to be anything close to a top 5 to 10 running back. We need people that think what was the comment? I'd take him in the 5th round. We need people that even believe that world exists. We need those people as much as they need us. We need them more than they need us. Anyway, dial in. Phone line's on screen. Call into the Grindhouse phone line.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Just bring positivity to the chat. You can disagree. The people that say that you can't disagree in here, they're the people that they say they're just having a difference of opinion, and they eventually get removed because they continue to say that, but they don't act like that. They act divisive, and they act disruptive, and they act like their differing opinion is just them speaking their mind, even though they come in to troll. They come in to be negative. They come in to drag down the content. They come in, and as you notice, I don't just like block people that have a differing opinion. There are people in here that run their mouth for weeks and months and years, and I allow them to be here. But when you prove time and time again that your differing opinion, you're disguising it as differing opinion, and it's you just trying to be divisive and come into the show, which I'm a big boy. I don't need to have people protect my content. I do a Devon Achane show. I don't need people to be like, guys, don't say anything negative. Smitty's going live on Achane right now. We got to keep it calm. I never do that. But if your goal is to tear down content, your goal is to be disruptive, you won't be here long. That's just the way it is. So, figure it out, or don't figure it out. I don't really care. Ron Navy, you're live.
Weeks, months, and years just showed up.
Weeks, months, years. Ron, how do you like the new video?
I love it. It's cool.
Yeah. Miss Smitty, when I told Miss Smitty I was hard at work, she was like, what are you doing? And, and I sent her a little clip. I'm like, I'm busting my ass right now. And I showed her the clip, and she was just like, I don't understand.
Whatever.
I don't understand your job. I don't understand how this is what you... I work all day hard, managing people and customers that are irate and screaming. I'm like, I do too. She's like, but I mean, I'm out here busting my butt, and you're in here with, a music app open, singing into a microphone going, Achane. I need some backups. I'm like, I need 7 layers of that.
Achane.
Imagine. I wonder what
Achane.
putting on that extra weight though. Wonder how much that'll affect his speed.
He was so quick, it won't matter. Even if it dials him down a little bit. He said before he can add that weight and not lose speed, so I'm sure he's done it before. He's probably experimented with his weight before. But what I've always said to people who say, hey, Smitty, weight is bad. Weight's not bad for a young player that's still learning, is still developing, that hasn't, played at the NFL level for years at a certain weight, and then they come in and add weight. Perfect case in point was early in Aaron Jones's career, Aaron Jones couldn't stay healthy. And Aaron Jones, it was still very early in his career. I put him on my bold predictions. It was, I think the first year I did it wasn't Moon Man or Mars Man, but it was my first year with my channel, I believe. And I had Aaron Jones as a top 5 running back breakout. And it was very controversial because he could never stay healthy. He was not necessarily a big name player yet. And the reason that I jumped the fence over to believing in him was that he gained the weight. Gain weight is not always a bad thing. It's how it's done. It's what it's kind of like the ACL recovery. Everybody said, you're going to wait on Breece Hall. I'm going to come in the next year because ACL recoveries, running backs are always slow coming off ACL recoveries. That is a lazy take. I don't blame people for having it, but it's a lazy take because they hear it from other people and they just keep regurgitating it. But ACLs are case by case, and that's why I loved Breece Hall, and I did not love other running backs, J.K. Dobbins, even Saquon Barkley, who really fit the parameters for the best recovery of an ACL when it happened, and you said, okay, how long is he going to be out? When he first tore it, he was the best profile for a quick recovery that you could ever draw up because quad strength and quad muscles and how much muscle is around the knee, because the knee doesn't have a lot of muscles around it. And Barkley's quads, he's Quadzilla, right? So he had the perfect profile for being the quickest recovery of an ACL tear ever. But it's case by case. He was slow to recover. There was missteps. Everything's case by case. We came out and said, don't listen to people that say Breece Hall is going to be bad his first year back. He's going to be unbelievable because it's case by case. And everything was pointing in the right direction. The same thing with weight gain. If you gain weight, it could be bad. If you gain weight, it could be good. Aaron Jones gaining weight, working on his nutrition, all of that when he had a problem of staying healthy was the only solution. And so if you were going to go all in on Aaron Jones ever, it would be when he does the one thing that could rectify the one thing holding him back, which was staying healthy, absorbing the hits. And he did it early on enough that he didn't have to change his style of play. He was older, carrying around more weight. The older you are and the more weight you gain, the more knee issues you have. Think about going for a run as you gain weight. It's hard on the body. When you're a young kid like him, you can adjust all of this and not affect you. Let me add this caller. 480 caller. Who's this? Where are you calling from? Hello? 480. Hello? Yeah, who's this and where are you calling from?
This is Joseph from Arizona.
What's up, Joseph? I mean, I knew you were from Arizona with the 480, but I just want to make sure. You calling from where? Peoria? Where you at?
I'm in Gilbert.
Joseph from Gilbert. What's up, man?
What's up, dude? I just wanted to talk about Marvin Harrison Jr. So Peter Schrager had a mock draft today.
Yeah.
He had the Cardinals trading down to 6 with the Giants.
Possible.
And then obviously the Chargers hop in there and get Marvin at 5.
I don't know about obviously, but okay.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was saying. I think it could be Joe Alt.
Or they trade down for another offensive lineman that maybe everyone's got a problem with Joe Alt. We already got that position covered, Smitty. You can't draft Alt. What are they going to have him play? Who are they going to move?
I don't know.
Yeah, so they could trade down or
I want Marvin.
Everybody should want Marvin. He should go number 1 overall, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think he's the best prospect in the draft. I really do.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I saw.
Sorry?
He had to steal Thomas.
He had the what?
Steelers taking Thomas.
So, yeah, I mean, look, mock drafts are almost like stupid. You know, I like them. They're fun. But, I mean, when people try and determine anything from it, the odds of them predicting what's going to happen are slim to none. And in their defense, I could do a mock draft right now, and in one single misstep on my mock draft, and it just a trigger effect of all the picks get jostled around. And it's fun though. It's fun, but the Cardinals are very capable of trading down. If they do, I hope they only trade to 6 or a place where they can still get Roma Dunze or Neighbors, and then I'll be okay. It does sound like the Cardinals are only interested currently, and Monte Ossenfort could be bluffing and want a trade down to 6 and go, we wanted the King's ransom, but we'll take the baby bump for a little move, a baby bump down. But if the Cardinals are sticking to the said plan, and this could be smoke, that the only way they trade for is if they get the trade down pick, so that's 1 first rounder to trade into, and then 2 additional first rounders, so the sum total of 3 first rounders for the 1 first rounder. So you're essentially getting 2 extra first rounders. If that's the King's ransom that they want, odds are an NFL team won't do it. And you'd also have to have the perfect trade down pick, like Minnesota makes the most sense. So Minnesota goes to 4 to get their franchise quarterback. The 11 and 23 go to the Cardinals, and the Cardinals get their future first round pick, and then they get 3 first rounders for the 1, essentially gaining 2. Do they get Roma Dunze here? Do they just take Brian Thomas Jr.? Do they avoid wide receiver altogether and get a wide receiver later at this 27 pick? I don't know. Did the Cardinals use 27 to move up at all? If I was the Cardinals, I'd be trading this 27 up. I'd be doing... Can you imagine if the Cardinals... If it was me, if this was me, if I was in control of the Arizona Cardinals, I would trade 27 and future first rounders. Joseph left. He got tired of me talking. I would trade 27 and future first rounders to get this like New England 3, and I'd draft Neighbors and Marvin Harrison Jr. and Neighbors, or Marvin Harrison Jr. and Roma Dunze for the Cardinals. I would be crazy. I would be insane. I would be all over that. I'm a psycho.
Joseph's coming knocking on your front door.
Yeah. What's up, Joseph? Nick Chubb, Jaylen Waddle, Marvin Harrison Jr., Achane, those are kind of the news topics. Anything else that we talked about that you have, Deshaun Watson, anything else you want to talk about that we've talked about, or anything new? I'm checking X right now to see if there's any new updates. Jerry Jones bringing in Freeman, like, come on. I'm not saying that's their end-all solution, but, like, I don't think Jerry's, like, right in the head right now, because he keeps talking about this year, and he's doing nothing to help this year. We're in it for 1 year, and we're just going to see what's what. Well, I hate to break it to you, Jerry, but you just got worse at running back, and you couldn't have played any worse at the position last year anyway. And then now you bring in Royce Freeman? Like, really? Who are you going to draft, Jerry? It would not shock me at all if Jerry did not take a wide receiver, a running back in the second round. I forget if they have the same pick in the second round or what they have in the second round, but it wouldn't shock me at all if they continue to pass the skip on the RB to the point where you see him bring in like a questionable running back choice. You know, I'm not saying Bucky Irving's bad. I like Bucky Irving. He's really kind of elusive, but like that's not what you want. You just had that in Tony Pollard. You really want the Braylon Allen. You really want the Jalen Wright, or you could try Blake Corum if you believe in him. That you want the workhorse type running back. Like Jerry's just out of his mind. I don't think he's trying to win. Are you there, Ron? You're on mute.
Oh yeah, I'm here.
Oh.
I thought you were. I didn't know you were talking to me. I thought you were talking to Joseph. I thought you called back in.
And I don't know that Malik Davis is even there anymore. Is he? I don't think he is. Dallas Cowboys depth chart. I think he's gone. I don't think he's there anymore. Let me see. Yeah, it's Dowdle, Deuce Vaughn, and Royce. Oh no, he is still there, but he's fourth on the depth chart. He's not even. I guess he is still there. I don't know what his contract is.
This is time. That doesn't mean nothing.
Yeah, this running back stable, Rico Dowdle, Deuce Vaughn. I like Deuce Vaughn. He's exciting, but they didn't even use him. Like they didn't use him at all. But this running back, like you can't. He's not a starter. Like he is an exciting change of pace. Like think of him as your weird version of the way like a team uses a Taysom Hill or a Debo, or like you need to figure out a way. He is not those players. He's like a weird version that is a different version, but you need to figure out a way to get Deuce Vaughn the football, or why do you even have him? So they need to get him. The what?
The Dallas Cowboys, the current Dallas Cowboys running back stable reminds you like the Wizard of Oz near Munchkin Land, or Willy Wonka and the Oompa Loompas.
Yeah, this is the running back stable right here. Royce Freeman, Rico Dowdle, and Deuce Vaughn. This is your running back room right now. I mean, no wonder. If I'm Dak Prescott, I don't know that I'm even all that concerned right now about staying. I really wonder if we're going to see Dak Prescott trade rumors brew. I don't care if he has a no trade clause. He'll probably accept to trade out because, as I said earlier, if he's getting traded, he's getting extended. He's not getting extended in Dallas, so why would he not accept any trade? Anybody willing to trade for Dak Prescott will be paying him. So any team willing to trade for Dak Prescott will be an attractive, yes, send me there from Dak Prescott. Dak's not going to say no to any team giving him an extension. He's not.
I heard one of them floating. They're floating. I think it might have been Schrager also. Bo Nix to Minnesota.
Bo Nix to Minnesota would be solid.
I like Penn on there better, but myself.
Yeah.
But he had him going to Vegas.
Let's pull this up real quick. So, like, if I was to predict the quarterback landing spots, I would say.
And he had JD5 going to New England.
I'd say, okay, so Caleb's going to Chicago. Washington tonight, or right now, is meeting with JD5, Penix Jr., Drake May. Is McCarthy at that meeting? I forget if he's there as well. But they're having a group of the top quarterbacks there. Not Caleb. This is what Chicago should have did. They should have got. Part of me thinks Chicago's afraid to probe any deeper into Caleb because they're afraid if we change our mind, we're gonna be. You know when you're in life, you should be looking at something with a little bit more detail, and you ignore it on purpose because you know you might change your mind. So you keep going down like kind of a questionable road. Everybody knows that. Everybody's done it in life. I feel like the Chicago Bears are doing that. You what?
At first, last year, Carolina, they were like, firstly they were projected on Stroud, and then that changed. The who was it? Who was their ex-quarterback coach there? Carolina was all over Stroud. He liked Stroud a lot, and then they went with
Allen. Yeah, Allen, you still here? I missed your super chat, bro. $10 hauler from Allen. He gets a moonshot. Allen, I'm so sorry. I don't know why this didn't alert me. I got to fix my alerts in here. Allen dropped a super chat, and it says, thank you for all you do, Smitty, like eating cold meatloaf last night, making sure you make your points. Appreciate you. Alan to the freaking moon. Is Alan still here?
Cold meatloaf.
What?
Yeah, but you didn't eat cold meatloaf.
I mean,
That's what microwaves are for.
Yeah, but I don't really warm up my stuff like when I eat it cold. But I would say, and I'm not saying this is a flex or a needing a cookie or a pat on the back or an apology. This is my job. But I eat my dinner cold probably about 50-60% of the time because of the show, and that's fine. That's part of the. I'm almost getting used to cold food. I almost like the cold food. It's kind of become process for me, but. Okay, so quarterbacks, we're going to go Caleb 1, Jaden Daniels 2, Drake May 3, Marvin Harrison Jr. 4. Let's say something shocking happens and no trade gets made in the top 4. Chargers. I know everyone wants Neighbors to be the pick, but in the chat, try and genuinely predict what happens. Drop it.
They're trading out.
Tell me what you guys think. Let's, as a group, decide what the Chargers do. So, drop it in the chat. Go. Let's see what the chat thinks.
Yeah.
What's up, Travis? What do you think's gonna? Do you think your Patriots are going Drake May? If you had to bet on it. Hello, Travis.
Travis took a nap.
Hello, Travis. Bowers to the Chargers.
Hi, Travis. Please hold for the fantasy football show.
Travis, what do your Patriots do if you had to predict right now? They go on Drake May?
If I had to predict right now, I'd probably say Drake May. I think I was mentioning to you earlier, all the talk today out of nowhere was the local shows talking about them like laying in the weeds for Penix and getting drafted, somehow getting Odunze and Penix. Like that's like a dream world. But I'd still put my money on May if I had to.
Okay, so we're gonna go May. We're gonna go MHJ. Chargers. I'm seeing a lot of Bowers. I don't disagree. Even though Bowers is not like your George Kittle blocking monster tight end, he's more of a receiver. You do get a little bit of that, blocking potential. It's could bring him into the line, and so that's something that might be attractive. Like kill two birds with one stone. Pass catcher for Herbert, potential blocker, maybe blocks more than he wants. That it's certainly possible. I believe that he's more likely to draft Bowers than Neighbors at this point, but I don't know.
Yep, I agree with that.
I
think they trade out. I know people hate alt, but
yeah,
I see him take alt.
I would say the sum total of Bowers and offensive linemen is a greater percentage chance than just Neighbors. Like even if it's close, the combined percentage of Bowers and offensive line together is a greater percentage chance than just Neighbors. And I would say you add and trade down, and that makes the drafting of Neighbors, and this is just me guessing, but like 33% chance sum total that Neighbors is the pick, which is still high enough. It just takes one moment in time where you go, do it. So who knows, but Matt says Bowers isn't going top 5. I mean, we hear that all the time. There's a couple reports on Twitter today from pretty big name sources, one of which I respect a lot in some ways, that said that Penix Jr. is not going to go in round 1. That's all just hype. And I 100% disagree with that. And then somebody goes, there's talk about him going in the top 11, top 12, top 13. The Raiders taking him at 13. And there's multiple sources going, that's just people speculating and talking. I don't think he's going top 13. I'm thinking Penix Jr. could go 3. He could go 3 overall. And we still got days. The 11th hour is crazy. We've seen quarterbacks flip from like maybe not top 10 to number 1 overall before within 2 or 3 days before the draft. So this whole notion that Penix Jr. is not a top 13 overall pick is nuts. Now, Guys free fall all the time. It happens all the time, but I don't think it will with Penix Jr. And Bowers, we hear he's not getting out of the top 10. Then you hear people say he's not a top 10 pick, and everybody's got an opinion. But all it takes is one Harbaugh to say, Brock Bowers, I can deal with this guy. He'll also sit about, I don't know, 5th, 6th in my alphabetical order seating in the locker room. Bowers, B. That guy could be 3rd or 4th in line. Which I don't like, by the way. I like it in college. But I really don't. I'm not saying it's horrible. I'm not saying it can't work. And for everybody that says I'm a Harbaugh hater, I'm not. Harbaugh could win right away at the NFL. It's just going to be not fantasy friendly. People are out of their mind that think that this is going to be a Justin Herbert explosion. It's not. You're going to be lucky for them to draft a big name wide receiver. They just got rid of Keenan Allen for a ham sandwich. This alphabetical order in the locker room, I don't really like it. I think Harbaugh's going in and he's tinkering a little too much with the NFL game plan. And he's like, let's turn this thing into I know I was here many years ago, but we're just going to bring college football right in. And again, it might win, but I don't like it. I don't know. I think these grown men are going to be like, I have assigned seating. I'm getting paid millions of dollars and I'm not in college anymore. And I've got assigned seating. I can't have the locker I want that I've had for 10 years. I can't have, there's a lot that goes into that. A lot of players have like superstitions and they don't want to be forced to sit in a corner. And I don't know. I don't really like what's going on yet in LAC. I just don't. You can say I'm a hater on it. I'm not predicting a downfall. I just don't like it. Matt, appreciate the comment.
He's putting on their locker.
The what? Yeah.
The high school rankings, high school or college rankings, like what, 5-star, 3-star.
Yeah, and look, those things work in college, but when you're in the NFL already,
right?
Like if I was in the NFL, I'm telling you how I would feel. Honestly, I would feel like, what are we doing? Like we're grown men now. High schools. You don't need a reminder. I'm in the NFL. I've already accomplished it. Like I don't need to be reminded. Oh, remember back in high school? Like I don't get it. Alphabetical order.
Like team building summer camp stuff.
Is Bowers sitting close to the door in LAC, or is Neighbors sitting kind of far down on the pine in the locker room? We'll find out. Or are they drafting Joe Alt as he number 1 in the alphabetical order seating? Is Alt going to be sitting there right by the front door, right by the bathrooms, right by the bathrooms at Harbaugh's door? Joe Alt. Hey, Joe Alt, here's your locker. First one.
I think they trade out.
They could. Like I said, okay, so let me look at it this way. Trading out and drafting Neighbors. Or no. Trading out and drafting Bowers, I believe, is greater percentage. Yeah. Trading out and Bowers than Neighbors. Trading out of the pick feels very similar. Trading out an offensive line feel like is equal percentage of Bowers and Neighbors together. If I'm going to break down the odds.
What if they trade out with the Jets? The Jets come up to 5 and take Bowers at 5.
The Jets are going to wait for him at 10 because the consensus is that he's a top 10 pick, Bowers, but the majority of people don't see him going inside the top 8, 9. Chicago probably won't take him because of Kmet. Falcons probably won't take him because of Pitts. Tennessee could, but we'll see. Tennessee's a wild card for him for sure.
All you got to look at is Gibbs last year. Nobody expected that.
Yeah. True.
So if you want your guy, you got to go get him.
I agree. I think maybe they're not 100. Maybe they are 100% sold on. Maybe Aaron Rodgers said, "Go get me Bowers," and not that he's going to have 100% say, but it does seem like Salah does whatever he says. Salah does whatever he says, though.
It costs a lot to move up.
Aaron Rodgers could walk in and go, "I want standing lockers only. No chairs. Chairs are bad for you." Yes, sir. Get all the chairs out. Aaron Rodgers said so. I think so. Like, as much as I love Aaron Rodgers, I do. I think Salah needs to get some balls. And I think Salah needs to coach the team. There needs to be a divide there. I don't know. But Titans could take Bowers. Yeah, they're definitely a wild card. Titans are a wild card, as I said, for Bowers. Chargers could take them. But the consensus is saying, and the consensus could be wrong, that 10's about where, you see him get plucked. Penix Jr. could go 3. A little unlikely at this moment, but the meetings tonight, all that stuff. Again, guys, listen to me. How many people said he wouldn't go in round 1? For weeks and months when I kept hearing that over and over. Smitty, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. He's now climbing into the 3 to 16 conversation. So let's stop pretending, that it's not possible. Stop with the Chargers talk. Their previous head coach was only celebrating certain players' birthdays. The alphabetical stuff is nothing. John, I'll do whatever I want. So, no, I'm going to continue to talk about the Chargers. But thank you very much, John. I appreciate your demand, but I decline to engage. Stop it! Stop it! Chargers. No, I won't do that.
Oh God!
I might do that. Depends. I'm thinking about it. You know what I might do? I might do an Achane 20,000 time video. Schedule the live so nobody's got to sit through it. Random, like you'll know it's coming. Maybe I'll do it on a Saturday when people don't. It's not during the 8 p.m. show or anything. But how can I say Achane 20,000 times in a row? And how long would that take?
Wait till.
What?
You got so many better to do than to say HN 20,000 times. Come on.
I don't know. Let's see. I spent close to 3 hours on this last night.
Achane. Achane is the man. His haters call him small.
But he is 9 feet tall.
Achane is the man.
Oh, yeah. So, there's that. For all the Achane haters, I thought I'd play that one more time for you. Yeah, sorry, I hit mute real quick because I was messing with some volume stuff. But, yeah, it's I could see myself trying to, spend my time in better ways. I do get that. But, there's some value to it, especially on a Saturday, extra video if I decided to do it. But it does seem like it would be a long time. So 20,000 times, just a quick sample. Travis, can you count to 15, please? And Ron, can you count the number of times I say Achane? Okay? Ready?
Yeah. Yep.
Go. Achane, 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 Devon Achane, Devon Achane, 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 Achane. How many was that?
28.
How many?
So you could have got
28.
Could have got 30.
You could have got it.
Okay, so 30 every 15 seconds? I think I could do more than that. I think that was more than. Okay. What was that? 15 seconds?
I counted them.
Okay, so 30.
Yeah,
That was 15 seconds.
So I think
that means 120 minutes. That's
Okay.
120 per minute.
Okay, so 120 per minute. So
Divided to
20,000
20,000.
divide by 120 is 166 minutes. Is that right? Divided by so 2.7 hours. No, is that really? Is that only 2.7
Yeah.
hours?
Well, probably get closer to 3. To slow down a little toward the end.
Yeah, I probably
Catch
would.
your breath.
I'd probably start to mumble.
But
I'm not
3
reading
hours.
that video.
Yeah. All right.
I'll give you I'll come thumbs up, but I ain't sitting through it.
Okay, I won't do it. I won't do it. You're right. I could create better content, more useful content.
You'd have to say it like 1,000 times and just get a really good loop going.
Yeah.
20,000 times.
You should do editing for the MC. Smitty, hard. Thank you. Appreciate you, Travis. Okay, so, Travis, what do you want to talk about? Nick Chubb, Jaylen Waddle, Devon Achane, Dallas Cowboys running back situation, New England Patriots.
About the Cowboys thing, just like I know he said we're all in or whatever, however he said it, one season or whatever, but it's almost like they're doing everything they can to ensure like that doesn't have a great year, so they can part ways without any backlash at all. Because aside from CeeDee Lamb, what do you feel good about with that team? You know, the defense will be okay. I guess Diggs is coming back for him and stuff. But
Yeah, I mean, I
CeeDee
don't.
Lamb's not going to be happy though.
I don't know.
There's no
Yeah,
contract.
I mean, is he going to sign a deal without a quarterback? I don't know. I mean,
Right.
maybe it is all about money, right? And he's getting a big deal, and he's like, "Look, it's my only
Sure.
option." But could Lamb request a trade at some point? Maybe. It's certainly possible.
They also could draft a rookie in his grade, and that quells a lot of them.
Yeah, the Milton, the Rattler, the maybe let's say Penix Jr. just free fell, which he could, but I don't think he will. Then do you take Penix Jr.? That's a freaking kick to the nutsack. But look, I mean, the Packers did it. Ended up working out for the Packers at the end of the day, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm in a rookie running back, but QB too. They draft a rookie QB and he starts looking good. Or Lance. I mean, I don't know what to think of Lance, but if Lance starts looking really good, people are going to start saying that.
Yeah.
Hard to know where they're going.
Balake says 5-month membership question. Love the live streams while I'm at work. Well, the live streams love you back, Balake. Appreciate you. Nolan has a good idea. Smitty, do a video of a mock draft where the fans call in and make the selections for each team. Essentially, that's a good idea in theory, but I can tell you right now that we would run into a lot of people that don't have any names to go off of. You get past 2 offensive linemen, and how many people in here are going to know the 3rd and 4th offensive linemen and in order of where they should go? It would be the most ridiculous mock draft by the end of it, probably. We could do a rookie fantasy football mock draft that way if you wanted, but that's a good idea for that, but not an NFL mock draft. We wouldn't get through. We wouldn't have enough people that have good ball knowledge across the board, offensively, defensively, and that's to be expected. People don't have time for that. A lot of people don't have time to know the incoming defensive cornerbacks and safeties and team needs on top of that. That's a tall order. Mock draft is a dangerous business, man. You put a mock draft out there, you get ripped apart within minutes. People hate you. You get hate mail. My team would never draft that. Penix Jr. in the top 15. Are you out of your mind? It's like it'd be like a bunch of Franks in here. Spinach to the moon.
The draft NFL mock draft really can go any direction. The local radio show in Boston every year, they do each position. They open up a draft magazine and chuck a marker at it 3 times, and then get 2 or 3 guys that the Patriots take every year just randomly.
Yeah.
So it's once you get past those first couple rounds, it's a crapshoot for a lot of it. Hard to say.
I'm not trying to say you guys don't sum total have. I'm just saying to go through each it's hard enough to find right now if I put a post up to do a mock draft, we're gonna have people fill that mock draft, but it's not like we could do 3 of them. There are people that are driving right now. There are people that are working right now. So to get that many phone callers is more of the, like, to find that have the ball knowledge, that have the defensive ball knowledge, the position of a need for each team, and that can call in. I'm telling you right now, Nolan, I just know. If we were in the busy time, maybe. But right now, with 200 people watching, it'd be very hard to get, we'd have the same people, like two people doing it.
You specified a little bit.
But it's a good idea, Nolan. It's good. I just, from experience, I know it probably wouldn't work right now in this stage of the offseason. But, and definitely not 2 rounds of it. Definitely no. 1 round would be hard. Yeah, that's why it would only be 1 or 2 rounds. It'd only be 1 round, and there's no way that we could get through 2 rounds. If we had like 1,000 people in here, then we'd have a much greater pool of people that could maybe participate. Anything else? Oh, I got the Bruce on the phone. I'm sorry, Bruce. What are you doing, bro?
Relaxing. Got done.
The Bruce
in my hiding spot
is loose. What's up?
I'm doing good. How you doing, Ron?
Hey, Bruce. Does anybody know Disneyland pretty well? On the Pirates of the Caribbean, I think it's the Pirates of the Caribbean. I think it is I think it's that ride. There's a character that laughs like Bruce. It's exactly the same. Every time I hear Bruce laugh, I hear it. It's one of the pirates. He goes as he's drinking. I think on the. And I don't know why I can't shake it.
I don't drink, man.
Does anybody know what I'm talking about? I think it's the Pirates of the Caribbean. And it's one of the guys sitting there on the edge of like one of the walls or something, and he goes. I think it's that ride. I could have the wrong ride, but I'm pretty sure. If anybody can confirm this with me, God, I feel like they hired you as a voice actor. Did you ever do any voice actor work? That recording ever goes bad, and they need it, I'm gonna reach out. I got your replacement. You won't be able to tell the difference. Bruce, what do you think's gonna happen with all this news on screen? First of all, tell me about Devon Achane. What do you think about Devon Achane, bro?
Oh, he's gonna be good. I like Devon Achane.
Can you tell me how many LBs did he put on? Meatloaf and mom cooking this thing, the working out, Bruce, the hard work. You know this well. You tell me, and I want your mom's opinion too. How much meatloaf has this guy had? How many LBs is he up?
Probably 15, but it's all muscle too.
Oh, all muscle. I mean, those are cannons dangling from his shoulders. Those are not little string beans like the left side.
Yeah.
This guy can't wipe his ass anymore.
Bloated.
Yeah. Somebody said he looked bloated. He looked like he got back from the buffet.
People forget. Okay, you start out in high school. Your weight training is like that. You go to college to play football, and totally it gets a little more intensive, but you're still studying, going through all that mess. But when you get to the pros, you still are growing. You still the weight training there.
I don't think people
tons and above.
Yeah.
Used to do it.
You always hear me say this phrase kind of over and over, is that you get NFL trainers, NFL training, and NFL food. These guys now have a cafeteria. Some of these guys didn't have, the same ability to get, the amount of food that they get right now. I'm not saying every player is the same, but in college it's different. You don't just get fed, all day long. Like, these guys get whatever they want. It's I wouldn't leave the facility. These guys are out racing like Rashee Rice and being idiots on the road, and I'd be at the facility, in the lab, putting in the work, at the cafe, at the gym, calling the trainer and be like, let's do another session. I would live and breathe and eat this stuff. And it looks like this guy did. He did exactly that in the offseason. Look at him. Look at him. I mean, this is Kyren Williams' size now. I know some people say Kyron's too small, whatever, but I don't care about that. That people can say whatever the hell they want about Kyren. Kyren and Achane. In best ball, I'm doing a couple slow best ball drafts. I jumped in them before they closed out. If anybody else wants to do them, the NFL draft's approaching and Underdog Fantasy's, wrapping up. They're filling the final little board and big board right now. They'll come back with them after the NFL draft, or they'll do the Best Ball Mania, I think, right after. But right now you can jump in real quickly if there's even spots available to do it. But I jumped in a couple 4-hour slow drafts. They cut the timer from 8 to 4 hours. I jumped in like 5 of them real quick just to get a couple because I didn't want to be without drafts. And I've already drafted Achane at 13, 14, and 15 in like 4 of the 5 drafts so far. I can't help it. I got that draft slot, so I couldn't trade, right? It's best ball. So I took him at 13, I think 14, and 15. And I got another pick around like 14.
That's the thing too about
I'm consuming it.
I know some people, kind of brush off what Bryce did, and that's their business, how they want to feel about it. But these guys are handed such a golden opportunity in like a chance for not an easy life, but like you said, all the opportunity to be successful, especially the ones that have shown that they can be a stud like that. And meanwhile, you have guys like Achane working their butt off, and they don't get credit because that's their job. But it's just another reason why it's like disappointing what Russ does. Just kind of throws that out the window.
Travis, where do you rank him on your running back ranking?
Achane? Probably 6, I'd say, because Bijan, Brees, CMC, Gibbs, Kyren, probably Achane 6.
What about you, Ron? Where do you rank Achane on your running back rankings? I put my running back rankings on the screen. They're very volatile. Bijan 1, Hall 2, Gibbs 3, Kyren 4, and honestly, Kyren could be 2 for me. I really see this top row right here totally interchangeable, and I don't mean that from like I hate it. I hate it when people are like, I don't care if I've got the 4 pick. I don't know who to pick, so I'm just going to let everybody choose for me. I hate that mentality. Why even play fantasy football if you're just going to take the leftovers and let someone else decide who you're going to take? So I'm not trying to say that I'm that way, because I do want control over who I take. I want the 1 pick, but right now these are interchangeable. Kyren, Gibbs, Hall, Bijan, any one of these guys could be my 1. Any one of them could be my 4. Any one of them could be my 3 or 2. And the wind blows a certain way, I want to put Kyren number 2, because I believe at the end of the day, this is Dynasty, right here. So if it's gonna go redraft, Christian McCaffrey.
I was saying redraft.
Yeah, no. I know, but I pulled up my Dynasty one, so I gotta change this. So CMC is gonna be 5. He's 5. He's 5. It doesn't mean that I draft CMC. It doesn't mean that I draft CMC. He's 5 with Achane. No, God, because that was Dynasty that I pulled up. Damn it. What do I put him on redraft? Do I put him as tied with CMC? Do I put him as 6? I think on redraft I put him as 6. On Dynasty he's 4. He's 5. So Christian McCaffrey 5, Achane 6 in redraft. JT and Barkley tied at 7. I think is what I'm going to do. And Jacobs will be. We'll put JT tied. This is I shouldn't be changing my Dynasty, because now my Dynasty I'm not going to get back. But I don't want people to see this on screen and think this is not Dynasty, or this is redraft. Let's see here. Barkley tied for 7 with JT. This is redraft again, guys. And then number 8 is Jacobs, or he really be 9 because of the tie. So Jacobs 9. And then my 10 is going to be this tie down here. Now, does anything else change? Did anybody drop off? I don't think so. I think this is my redraft ranking. Am I missing anybody? Because I'm spitballing this. Hall or Bijan, Hall, Gibbs, Kyren.
Redraft again, guys.
Turn if you could turn the I'm gonna put in redraft. I'm gonna put Gibbs 4, Kyren. I'm putting Kyren. Yeah, you know what I'm doing this on redraft. I'm doing this. I'm putting Breece Hall 3, Kyren's 2. I'm doing it. This is redraft. Bijan 1, Kyren 2, Breece Hall 3. I'm manipulating my dynasty ones, so I'm doing it on the fly. And Gibbs kind of tied for third, but we'll put him 4. Only because, Monty's still there. I still feel like he isn't going to get as opened up as Hall and Kyren to a degree, but he's still so electric and explosive. So I could put Gibbs and CMC tied. Let's do that. Gibbs and CMC tied at 4. I hate to do a lot of ties, but I want people to know what I'm really thinking. I don't want to just force it, and I don't really. So 4 tied, and then and Achane's essentially. I mean, I could put him as it's 6, but I could put him as 5 here to just kind of convey it.
Honestly, I think a lot of the second year back is take work. Like how last year it was pretty much a split between Mostert and Achane. I think Achane is going to get most of the work. And with Monty, it was clearly a better offense when Gibbs was getting most of the touches. Lions would be crazy not to get going.
Yeah. So this is. I think this is where I want to leave my redraft. I think this is pretty good. I think this is it really depicts how I feel. So I hate putting Gibbs 4 in redraft. In Dynasty, again, I believe Hall goes to 2, Gibbs goes to 3, Kyren goes to 4 in Dynasty. And it's not because I doubt Kyren. It's just a little bit of growth in the other areas. It's not a knock on Kyren. So, but in redraft, this is how I feel. And in good conscience, I can't put. And Christian McCaffrey, you're drafting at 1, 2, 3, 4 overall. Achane's going in the second round, so you can't just say, "Oh, well, Smitty, you got CMC and Achane." People said this in my comments the other day. They're like, "You're telling me you're drafting Christian McCaffrey after you're drafting Achane, or right where you're?" No, I'm telling you, this is my ranking. I'm going to manipulate this or the ADP to my advantage using my ranking. You don't draft off rankings. People that draft off rankings don't understand what the rankings are there for. The rankings are there to tell you what you feel or what you believe someone else feels, and then you're going to go in and look at the ADP and try and take advantage of it. The suggested rank is usually within a reason, a few different draft spots. The suggested rank is how the players are going to draft. The further you get into an actual fantasy draft, the more people don't know what they're doing, the more the research isn't helping them, the more they're going off with a suggested rank. Early on, there could be some variance, but the pressure of drafting a guy that's ranked 10 and drafting him 4 overall, the pressure of that makes you not do it 8 times out of 10, 9 times out of 10. People are very peer pressured to follow the norm. So there's no reason to draft Achane above CMC. And me putting CMC, let's say I don't want to put any ties on this. We'll put Gibbs at 4. We'll put CMC. It's so hard not to do a tie. I'm gonna do one tie. Christian McCaffrey and Achane are tied. There we go. I'll leave it at that. All right, Ron, what did you say your redraft was?
Oh, I'd have them about 7 or 8. Probably. Do you hear me?
Yeah. Look, I realize how risky it is to have McCaffrey at 5, tied with Achane. I realize that's putting your testicles on the table. I get it. But he's 28 years old, and Shanahan is running him into the ground. And either he doesn't do that, and McCaffrey has a little bit different season than we expect, or he runs him into the ground and he breaks him. I mean, this is a guy that did you got to give him credit. He shook free the injury label, but before he had his 2 amazing years back to back in 2023 and 2022, the fantasy world, including me and everybody, pretty much was like, this guy can never be the number 1 overall pick again. And then he had 2 more electric years putting on massive mileage. It's really easy to be like, he's gonna do it. And I realize you're playing with fire. But I think I stand by he's as risky to trust as he is to doubt, and that puts him at a teeter-totter point.
Hey, Smitty.
Yeah, Brucey.
This is something that me and Miss Robeson and we came to this together, and people think we're nuts, but we have Barkley in our top 5 in redraft.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
I don't think there's.
Yeah, you don't.
I have him right after Achane.
Yeah,
I'll have him right at 5.
Because I've seen him go in the second round. I'm like, well, I could go big name receiver in the first and wait and see if Barkley falls.
Yeah, just make sure you're taking him at an advantageous territory. Like you do not want to take Barkley any higher than you have to, but there's nothing wrong with ranking him there. End of season, you think he's going to be, that good, whatever. Okay, let me see if I can drag McCaffrey down here. I'm going to put this here. So I think this is my order. The only thing I'm toying with from a hold on one second, Rob. The only thing I'm toying with from a redraft perspective is, do I put Achane 6 and realize I'm making a big freaking statement there all in itself. And this is a natural impromptu live ranking session with me. I'm not the kind of person that has something on an Excel sheet even next week that's going to be the same because I said it. This is me digesting it live and in person. Daniel says, you don't think Montgomery deserves to be on this list in the top 10 redraft, bro? No. You do you, Daniel, but no, not me. Not me. No, sir. No, sir. Go ahead, Rob. What do you want to say about CMC?
Oh, so, man, CMC is like pretty much the best fantasy player of all time, bro. So, yeah, it's going to be hard to not have him in that top 5. When he's on the field, he's going to produce.
We know that, but...
Personally, I would have him at 4. I would go Deshaun 1. I would go Hall 2. And then I think you can go...
Yeah, we don't need to do the whole ranking just because... But I just want to know about CMC specifically. What do you... I'll ask you a couple different scenarios. Do you like Achane or JT more?
Redraft, I like JT. Dynasty, I like Achane.
Ron, do you like JT or Achane more?
Achane.
Travis, Achane or JT more?
Achane.
Christian McCaffrey, Ron, or Gibbs more? Redraft. Rob, Gibbs, or CMC more? Redraft.
Redraft, CMC.
Jason, CMC or Kyron? Redraft.
I got to go Kyron on redraft.
Achane or CMC redraft?
With the age, got to go Achane. How bulky he got.
In redraft, okay. I don't think it's great. Again, guys, prefacing, you do not draft Achane near CMC. This is one of those things where it's like now you go like Lamb or Tyreek Hill or Justin Jefferson or something instead of Christian McCaffrey. You know what I mean? Like you got to use your noggin on this. It's not about replacing in your draft slot these players. This is about strategically trying to avoid the potential downfall that is going to cripple Christian McCaffrey drafters at some point. It could be his 29-year-old season in 2025. It could be this year at 2020 in 2024 at the age of 28. Hard to know. It's not an easy business trying to predict a collapse or downfall of a player that's been as elite as he's been for as many years as he's been. But the best example you have is Austin Eckler. You know, I'm not telling anybody to call him a bust or avoid him. We're just saying, or I'm just saying at least, and some on the line are saying, that he's right at this, like, okay, I have these 4 guys ahead of him because of age and the likelihood that the client's not hitting them, but could hit CMC. But then I swing back around and say the value's too great to keep kicking this concern down the road. I'm all in now. Like, that's all it is. It's not anything like he's not a doubted man. I'm not gonna feel like I'm not feeling like he's busting necessarily, because if he plays elite for half a season, he still could almost earn this, because you're gonna have somebody that supplements and comes in. So it's not like, you know.
Oh, so redraft, I'd take CMC.
Yeah.
You know, I'll roll with CMC.
Stay away from older running backs, man.
I don't blame you.
Regardless if I like you speak more, I'll stay away from the older running backs, even in redraft. I don't know. It's just a habit of mine. I play mostly dynasty, but when I do play redraft, I still do the same. Like, they put so much miles in their body. And, you know, the cliff is a real thing, man. LT was one of the greats. That dude, he went from having a legendary season to just falling off the face of the earth. It happens with running backs.
It happens, and it's happened. It happens every, you know. I mean, it happens
with Smitty's Cardinals.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, Emmitt Smith, Adrian Peterson. I mean, at some point they do fall off, and it's just such a tough business to be in. The predicting of a downfall. Hold on, real quickly. I think I have. Did I get all the super chats? Alan, appreciate your super chat, by the way, Alan. We got another one that just rolled in. This is Calvin Krim. Alan, thank you again. Alan, you're here. You saw my response, right? Calvin Krim, $5 hauler, says, hey, Smitty, if Chubb is out of the first half of the year or longer, does Jerome Ford get bumped into the top 10? Not the top 10, but he's certainly a crafty, you know, just like he was last year, crafty running back 2 to 3 option. Same with Santana Moss, Zach Moss. All year you could tell how long I played fantasy football. Zach Moss is, you know, kind of an intriguing player right now, because his ADP is not adjusting. I was kind of one of those people that said, I don't know about this Zach Moss situation, but the fact that he's still going in like the 80s to 100s, I believe, on Underdog. So that to me makes Moss a very, very, very attractive late round, middle round running back, or even late round running back, essentially. Jerome Ford for sure is somebody to look at. And what do the Cleveland Browns do on draft day? Do they bring in one of these very cheap running backs that shouldn't fall, like Braylon Allen? The risk, somebody's getting screwed. Probably multiple running backs are getting screwed in the NFL draft, because the rookies are costing so little that everyone's a threat to take one. Even the Dolphins. But the question is there a running back that can threaten Achane's job? No. Is there a running back that can threaten Kyron's job? No. But if you have, let's say, an ETN or a Kenneth Walker or Rashad White that get a little bit further down on the pecking order here, then, and you get a Braylon Allen that comes in, a Jalen Wright that comes in, a Blake Corum that comes in, that's a problem. So somebody's getting screwed. Probably multiple running backs are getting screwed based on the landing spots projected by these rookies, because they're going to fall so far. Teams are going to go, might as well take a guy. We'll just get a guy. We'll get a guy. So Jerome Ford might see that happen, or he might not. If he doesn't, he's going to see an increased amount of value. And I don't think Nick Chubb will be ready for week 1, at least not anywhere near full capacity. He's going to basically have almost a full calendar year, because I think he injured himself in week 2. But that knee injury is not normal. That knee injury is more than a year recovery, and if he rushes it, he'll have a breakdown of it, and it won't stay healthy. You can't rush what he had done. You can't. The swelling is going to be out of control. He's 28 years old. There's no way. There's no way Nick Chubb's going to have the ability to stay healthy if he tries to come back too early from it. And if he waits too long, he's going to be too old anyway. So it's kind of that like double-edged sword. It's not going to work out for him probably. Let me go over to Jason. Jason, you got anything else, pal?
Hey, I just had a quick question about some of the older running backs. This is only my second year that I did fantasy. I took a lot of your advice, and I even used it to finish second in fantasy basketball, weirdly enough, because I had just learned about the concept from watching you about ADP.
Yeah.
What do you think about Derrick Henry in Baltimore, Kamara, his value after the way he showed up and was just a PPR legend last year? How do you feel about those older guys, and how do you adjust for ADP when you say you're in the 4th, 5th round, and the way you've been drafting is like let's say I got 2 running backs and a quarterback in the first 3, and I need to go wide receiver, but I've got someone like one of those running backs available in the 4th or 5th round. Do you take the running back and just stack up on high-quality players? Just want your input on stuff like that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. By the way, I'm adjusting this if anybody sees in front of you. I'm going to try to force myself not to do any ties. I mean, I'm doing ties at 10, but I just made the change in redraft. I'm going to go Bijan 1, Kyren 2, Breece Hall 3, Gibbs 4, CMC 5. Achane at 6 is still so respectable and win a league potential. There's no reason to try and make some kind of crazy statement. We'll put him at 6, Barkley 7, JT 8, Jacobs 9, and then this group of 10 right here. I just want to correct that's where I'm going to settle in right now in redraft. In Dynasty, McCaffrey goes to like 8 or 9. Hall goes to 2, Kyren goes to 4, Gibbs goes to 3, Achane goes to 5. Everything else kind of stays the same, but CMC slots in around under Jacobs at 9, right around there. So anyway, I just want to clarify that. As for your ADP question, it's all case by case, bro. Depends on how players are falling. Can I get a Hopkins instead of going with the wide receiver that I don't really love, like Keenan Allen, like everybody else, and I can get a Ridley or a Hopkins or a something there, and then spend that pick on a different player, even if I've already stacked at that position. A best example I can give you is like when I'm on the clock and I need a wide receiver in best ball. I've kind of avoided the position. I've got 2 wide receivers, and I still need a 3rd wide receiver. Everything's telling me to go wide receiver, but then I'm sitting there looking at the wide receivers, and I'm like, damn, I like Lab McConkey, 7, 8, or 16 spots down or 10 spots down at wide receiver when I filter wide receiver. Then I like the guy at the top of the list. So why don't I go over to running backs? So I look at running backs, and then I see Kenneth Walker sitting there. And I'm like, well, shit. Let me take Kenneth Walker here and get Lab McConkey instead of forcing wide receiver, losing Kenneth Walker, and then now I'm in that same boat on the flip side. I need a running back, and I see Lab McConkey there, and I'm like, shit. So it just depends, man. There's no rhyme or reason. I think in best ball, you just do a ton of different things. A ton of different things. And do a ton of different things a lot. Like, for example, go running back, not once. Do a bunch of it, and then do a bunch of wide receiver. Do a bunch of early quarterback. Do a bunch of late quarterback. Don't just try everything once. Like, swarm it and get different variants going. I can't tell you how important it is to have a Kyren Gibbs team, but have 20 of them. If you could afford, I'm not saying everybody could afford to do that many best ball, but if you do the $3 drafts or whatever, it's important. If you love that combo, you need to prepare for injuries that could strike the other components of your team. So get different variants of a Kyren Gibbs build. Get different variants of a Kyren Achane build. Get different variants of a Christian McCaffrey build. If you're in redraft or dynasty, you have less opportunity to do that. So you're forced to make this crazy decision. Pressure's on. You got one league. It's your best league, your buddy league. Different pressures make you do different things. Obviously, if you're in best ball, you have no pressure. You just do another one. But did I answer your question? Yeah, go ahead with a follow-up because I may not answer your question fully.
No, you did answer my question. It was a pretty loaded question. I just wanted to correct when you mentioned for redraft when I said Achane over CMC, I meant for dynasty just because of the longevity and I mentioned age. But if it were like redraft next year, 100% taking CMC over Achane if we're talking about first round. I mean, you can still pick up Achane in second, third round.
But that's a different conversation. You can still pick them up. Has nothing to do with like what you're ranking. You know what I mean? Like, of course you can draft. Doesn't matter if Achane's your number 2 running back. You're not drafting him number 2, but you could still rank him number 2. So, but I am putting in redraft McCaffrey 5. I'm locking this in for now. It's going to change tomorrow. And then Achane's going to go 6 right now. I'm fine with it. The thing I showed at the top of the show was Dynasty. I didn't tell everybody that. So I'm probably going to see comments galore on it. Why is McCaffrey at 9? Because that's clearly my Dynasty ranking. But I moved him up. We did a Dynasty show last night. And so I was coming in to update that on this main channel, which we do Dynasty on here all the time. We don't only do Dynasty on the Dynasty channel, but we don't do redraft on the Dynasty channel. But here on the main channel, we do everything. So at the top of the show, if you saw that ranking, and I didn't clarify, I apologize. That was my Dynasty ranking, and Achane moved to 5 on my Dynasty rankings. So.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man.
All right, man. Later, bro. All right, let me circle around the phone line and get everybody off here. Go ahead, Travis.
I got to jump, so I get off first.
All right, Travis. Anything else you want to add real quick?
No, I'll see you later if you're on.
All right, we'll be back. All right, appreciate you.
Later.
All right, thanks. Man.
Bruce.
Later on. Bye.
Final thoughts, Brucey.
Hey, I'm thinking that the Browns, they do have a chance at picking up one of the free agent running backs too, even though we don't want them to, but they might. But I got a dynasty question for you that we got. Me and my mom got offered. The 1.1 and the 1.3, and we would have to give up Bijan. Would you do it or no?
1.1 and 1.3 for Bijan.
Yes.
It's 1 QB?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd probably take it because you could get Marvin and Odunze, Marvin and Neighbors. Yeah, I'd probably take it. That's so tough, though. That's a really, really tough move. I love Bijan, bro. I love him, but that's a lot of value, a lot of longevity. It also kind of depends on your build, which I don't know if we have total time to get into it, but you can read your team off real quick. Real quickly, remember I told you guys about the profiling of a certain opinion? Like, look at this. Dave Waters. Kyron can't stay healthy. Achane can't stay healthy. It's always this. I'm telling you, it's a science, man. You can, if someone hates one player, you can pretty much predict who they're going to hate across the board. Like I could get into the quarterbacks and tell you exactly who he hates at quarterback. I could get into the wide receiver position and tell you that he hates. I don't know what wide receiver fits the bill here. I don't know if he's going to like Puka or hate Puka, but Dave definitely fits that bill. To hate Kyron and Achane, par for the course. And Dave, we appreciate your service and all that. Please tell everybody you can that both Achane and Kyron are garbage. Please, Dave, tell everyone. Okay.
Yeah, let their value go down.
Go ahead, Bruce. Read your team off real quick, and then we got to jump.
I think my mom has it, so I can't. So, because I'm on a phone, she has the computer.
Okay.
But,
well, in general, I'm just going to say, in general, Odunze or Neighbors with Marvin Harrison Jr. is a lot of value to get back for Bijan. Because Bijan is going to be great. Obviously, he's my number one running back in Dynasty and redraft. This is my redraft rankings. But his shelf life is, 4 to 5 years. Marvin Harrison Jr. could be 10-plus years. Odunze or Neighbors, 10-plus years. You're getting 2 top 10 wide receivers. Wide receivers are still king in Dynasty because of the longevity. And who are your RBs? Do you remember who your RBs are at all?
We got Bijan. We have Swift, JT.
Okay.
And Barkley.
Yeah, you got good RBs. Yeah, Swift's your number 3. I don't love Swift this year like I did last year, especially in Chicago. But I love Barkley and JT. You have in redraft my 7 and 8, and I feel almost a little low on these guys. That one of them could be top 5.
JT's from where I live, so
that's a good team.
So we took him at 1.1 one year.
Can you trade Barkley or JT for Achane since it's Dynasty? Or maybe keep JT. Trade Barkley and Swift for Achane. because Barkley's older.
Okay,
I would rather have Achane.
Okay, I'll try it. The same guy that owns Achane owns Kyron Williams. Maybe I'll try just to...
Yeah, go get Kyron. He probably hates Kyron. All right, later, bro.
Look, I'll just give you these two.
Yeah, I trade Barkley and Swift for Kyron in a millisecond in Dynasty. All right, Bruce, appreciate you. Later, bro.
Yep, later.
Rob, final thoughts.
If you one of the guys to fade running backs, man, you've been fading running backs for the last couple of years. Now is the time to change your thought process. A lot of the value is going to be drafting these running backs because people want to go so receiver heavy. So you're going to have to change your game plan unless you want to have guys like Ayuk as your receiver one. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I don't ever like my personal take, and you probably know this by now, Rob, or if you don't, you'll know. Like best player available solves all these problems every year. I don't even have to worry about the trend necessarily. I recognize the trend like you're suggesting, and in best ball, when people go wide receiver, wide receiver, wide receiver, wide receiver, I love it. I grin, big grin ear to ear. Because this person is position drafting. I'm best player available drafting, and I always will be. And what that means is I'm not taking, for the layman out there, I'm not taking the best, highest ranked player on the ADP. That's ADP drafting. That's robotic drafting. I'm taking based on all the variables, based on who I have already, based on the lineup, based on who's getting swept off the board early, how much are running backs getting swept off the board, has anybody drafted a quarterback yet? All that factors into who's the best player available at every pick. It's a different look every time you're on the clock. And it's not like who's my highest ranked guy. It's who's my highest ranked guy with all those variables considered. So if I'm on the clock, I am trending toward balance or running back right now over wide receiver based on best player available. So we're in agreement there for sure. I am not very rarely loving wide receiver this year, because if I get, let's say, JJ or Hill or Jamar Chase or somebody at the top of round 1 and Achane or Barkley or Jacobs is available, I'm taking them almost 100% of the time over whatever wide receiver's there. Because you're not going to get a St. Brown. You're not going to get anybody that stands out. You're getting, like you said, Ayuk's or someone like that. No way I'm passing on getting that elite running back while they're getting scooped off the board, and you've got one more shot to get an Achane, a Barkley, or a Jacobs, and you're going to take a wide receiver because what? You heard from some regurgitated content creator that you only have a chance to win if you go wide receiver, wide receiver, wide receiver. Your team's going to be garbage. So best player available all day long, and that does this year, in my opinion, align with balance or not going wide receiver, wide receiver, wide receiver, wide receiver, wide receiver, wide receiver, wide receiver. All right, Rob, appreciate you calling tonight, bro. Good stuff as always. Rob from Hawaii.
All right.
Later, pal.
All right, Smitty.
Right. See you tonight. Ron Navy, final thoughts.
Yeah, well, I was out and about today a little bit. I had to get out and get some stuff. Well, I got the itch, Smitty, and I got me some Prisms. I got me some Selects, and I got me some Zenith.
Ooh, he's doing some ripping tonight.
Guess these are just the inserts I pulled.
Okay.
I pulled Jahmyr Gibbs, Instant Impact from Prism.
Nice.
Pulled an Fuego Flowers insert card. I got a Kincaid Rookie Stallion jersey insert card. I got a Richardson. What is that? Crown Pacific 2000 insert card. I got A Bijan seal of approval. Insert rookie card.
Nice job.
You can't take Bijan card away from me. The biggest card I pulled, or the one that right now that I looked up that's most valuable, is the select rookie card insert. It's called what is it? Unstoppable. It's kind of hard. I'm in the garage, so
Well, who is it, Ron?
Unstoppable.
you're dragging this one.
It's an unstoppable insert card, anyway.
Okay.
There's another.
Who is it? What player? What player?
Our boy Stroud.
Attaboy.
Rookie.
Nice job, Rob. Ron's pulling and ripping rookies. Let's go. All right, Ron. I got to jump for food. Any final? What?
I didn't have any. I collected cards for. I got like 4 Marino rookies. I got 5 Elway rookies. I got Montana rookie. I got all the stuff from the old, 80s and
Nice.
70s and all that. But I stopped for a long time, so I didn't get any of the rookies last year. So
Nice.
Can't
Nice job.
Yeah.
All right, we'll call him tonight, Ron. Prayers up to Miss Navy and Ron and everything going on there. We'll see you tonight, pal, on the Dynasty channel, or maybe back tonight if there's breaking news. I always, in some ways,
All right.
we'll probably try and do both. If something breaking happens, I'll try and do both for sure. I got to try. I got to try better to do a Dynasty show, even if breaking news. But part of me is always like, come on, something break. I want to go on the main channel right now. So hopefully something crazy happens. All right, I'll see you all later. Appreciate you, Ron.
Hopefully, the breaking news that you come out with is Ayuk to the Steelers. That's what I want.
Right, maybe. All right, Ron, call him tonight. Later, bro. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Appreciate you. Final redraft rankings for now. Top 10. Bijan, Kyren, Hall, Gibbs, McCaffrey, Achane, Barkley. This is probably confusing. Let me move Barkley over here. Barkley, JT, Barkley 7, JT 8, Jacobs 9, and then a rookie or Walker or Etienne or Rashad White, and a couple others we could throw in number 10. These are my redraft rankings. And let me just make sure. I'm going to pull up my rankings list here over here, which is probably different on my site right now, which I got to correct. That's the nature of doing something live. Every time is different. Bijan, Hall, Kyren. Let's make sure everybody's listed. Gibbs, Barkley. You spitball something like this. Derrick Henry. Where's Derrick Henry? That's who we need to put on. I knew there was somebody missing. Derrick Henry needs to be in this 10. Not that he's number 10 for sure, but he needs to be listed. I knew I was missing somebody. I took him off because this was a dynasty ranking that I started with manipulating, so I have to throw Henry on here. So Henry, so I'll put him in this pile right here. So it's a pile for number 10. Henry, Etienne's in here. Yeah, Etienne's in here. Walker, Pacheco. Pacheco and redraft needs to be in here. Pacheco. I'll put Pacheco over here. Pacheco right here. So Pacheco, Henry, one of the rookies, probably the Dallas running back, Henry, Etienne, Rashad White. I think we're good. Like, of course, we love Zamirs and Najee could climb in or whatever, but like this is like, there's nothing wrong here. So Ramondre could climb in, but you're not ranking him here. This looks good. I don't think I'm missing a single person. Again, I started with Dynasty, so Henry was removed. So I added him back. We should be good to go. This is pretty good. I think this looks pretty solid. Thank you to my super chatters. Thank you to my moderators. Appreciate you all. I'll see you all later. On that note, I'll leave you with the brand new Devon Achane video, which is probably my greatest work of all time.
Achane. Achane is the man. His haters call him small.
But he is 9 feet tall.
Achane is the man.
One other thing real quickly. Yesterday, 4/15/2024, April 15th, is Devon Achane Day. That's the day that we found out Devon Achane became a man. And that's the day that I decided to kickstart my getting in shape again and sticking to it. I know I go back and forth on it. Look, I'm a busy guy. No excuses. I fail at that. We're not going to now. Achane Day, April 15, 1 calendar year from today, we're going to look back and laugh. Your boy's going to be ripped. This nothing of just a piece of mass that has no definition in it. It's going to be ripped and cut. Your boy's arms are going to get swole. I'm going to get cut up. I'm going to drop some lbs, get tightened up a little bit, get in 10,000 steps a day. If you want to lose weight, then just do that. You don't need to get ripped. If you want to gain muscle mass, do that. You just want to eat better. Today's Devon Achane Day. It could be whatever it means to you. Your goal, if you're starting today instead of yesterday, no problem. You're a day behind, not a big deal. Use 4/15 as a day that you start to change something you need to change. Let's all stick to it. Please join me. I want a grip of you to cling on to that date like I am with my lifeless fingers if I need to. I'm going to go out and absolutely rip it up. And it's all because of Devon Achane. Do it live. Appreciate you. See you tonight. Live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every Monday through Friday. That's what this show is. And live with big news breaks. See you all tonight, either on the Dynasty channel or this main channel or both. Links are in the description. Thank you to my super chatters. Thank you, Deckard, Coble, Alan M, Calvin Krim, Monsters. You guys rock. See you later. Deuces.